Confidence isn't something you're born with. It's something you build brick by brick through deliberate action and unwavering self-belief. Think of it as a muscle. The more you train it, the stronger it becomes. But how do you cultivate confidence that doesn't waver under pressure, criticism, or failure? How do you develop a mindset so resilient that no setback can shake your foundation? The answer lies in understanding that true confidence isn't about arrogance or pretending to know everything. It's about competence, clarity, and the courage to face life's challenges without flinching. It's about standing firm in your values, speaking your truth, and refusing to be diminished by fear or doubt. Imagine walking into any room knowing you belong there, not because you're perfect, but because you've earned the right to be there through effort and self-mastery. Picture yourself tackling obstacles with calm determination because you've prepared, practiced, and proven to yourself that you're capable. That's unstoppable confidence, not the absence of fear, but the certainty that you can act despite it. In this speech, we'll explore the principles that transform hesitation into conviction, self-doubt into self-assurance, and fragility into unbreakable strength. This isn't about quick fixes or empty affirmations. It's about adopting timeless strategies that forge confidence from the inside out. Let's begin. Note, the speech avoids any direct references to external figures as requested and adheres to YouTube's guidelines. The keynotes align with universal self-improvement principles while keeping the tone empowering and actionable. Would you like me to expand on any section? Master your posture and body language confidence begins with the way you carry yourself, not just in your mind, but in your physical presence. Your posture, your walk, the steadiness of your gaze, and the tone of your voice all send signals, not just to others, but to your own nervous system. When you stand tall with your shoulders back, you're not just projecting strength to the world. You're telling your brain that you are in control. Slouching, avoiding eye contact, or speaking hesitantly does the opposite, reinforces fear and self-doubt. Science backs this up. Studies on power poses show that adopting expansive, open postures for even 2 minutes can increase testosterone, the dominance hormone, and decrease cortisol, the stress hormone. This isn't about faking it, it's about aligning your body with the confidence you want to embody. Practice walking into a room like you own it. Speak clearly without rushing or mumbling. Hold eye contact long enough to show engagement, not aggression. Over time, these small adjustments rewire your brain to believe in your own authority. But posture isn't just physical, it's psychological. Confidence crumbles when you act like you don't deserve to be heard. Stop shrinking yourself to make others comfortable. Take up space. Sit at the table, not the periphery. When you train yourself to occupy your full physical and mental territory, you stop waiting for permission to exist. And that's when confidence becomes unshakable. Embrace discipline over motivation. Motivation is fleeting, it comes and goes like the weather. If you rely on it to take action, you'll never build real confidence. Discipline, on the other hand, is the bedrock of self-assurance. It's the decision to show up and do the work even when you don't feel like it. Every time you follow through on a commitment, whether it's hitting the gym, finishing a project, or practicing a skill, you prove to yourself that you are reliable. And nothing builds confidence faster than knowing you can trust yourself. Think of discipline as a series of small victories. When you make your bed first thing in the morning, you start the day with a win. When you stick to a schedule, you reinforce control over your life. These may seem insignificant, but they compound into an unbreakable belief in your own competence. Discipline also eliminates the paralysis of perfectionism. Confident people don't wait for the right moment. They act, adjust, and improve as they go. The key is to start small but be consistent. Set non-negotiable daily habits that align with your goals. Miss a day, don't collapse into self-criticism, just resume immediately. Over time, discipline transforms into identity. You don't just do hard things, you become the kind of person who does hard things. And that's when confidence stops being something you fake and becomes something you are. Confront your fears head on. Confidence isn't the absence of fear. It's the ability to move forward despite it. The more you avoid discomfort, the smaller your world becomes. But every time you face a fear, whether it's public speaking, rejection, or uncertainty, you expand your limits. Fear thrives in avoidance, courage grows through action. Start by identifying what scares you, then break it into manageable steps. If social anxiety grips you, don't aim to host a party. Start by making one intentional conversation per day. If you fear failure, reframe it. Every mistake is data, not destiny. The goal isn't to eliminate fear, but to build evidence that you can handle it. Each small victory trains your brain to think, I survived this, I can survive more. True confidence comes from knowing you faced worse and persevered. It's not about winning every time, it's about refusing to let fear dictate your choices. The more challenges you overcome, the more you trust your resilience. And that's unstoppable. Speak the truth, always. Confidence withers in the shadow of lies, even small ones. Every time you exaggerate, people please, or stay silent to avoid conflict, you erode self-respect. But when you speak honestly with tact, not brutality, you affirm your own worth. Truth-telling is a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger your integrity becomes. This doesn't mean blurting out every thought. It means aligning your words with your values. Say no when you mean it, admit when you're wrong, voice disagreements respectfully. The more you honor your truth, the less you need external validation, and the more others will trust and respect you in return. Compare yourself to who you were yesterday. Confidence dies in the trap of comparison. Measuring yourself against others' highlight reels guarantees insecurity. Instead, focus on incremental progress. Did you improve 1% today? That's a win. Track small gains. Skills learned, fears faced, habits built. Over time, this builds unshakable self-assurance because your confidence is rooted in growth, not others' opinions. Real confidence isn't loud. It's the quiet certainty of knowing you're moving forward, and that's unstoppable. Confront your fears head on. True confidence isn't built in comfort zones. It's forged in the fires of challenges we'd rather avoid. The paradox is this: the things you're most afraid of are precisely the opportunities that will make you stronger. Every time you back away from discomfort, you reinforce self-doubt. But every time you face what scares you, you rewrite your brain's definition of what's possible. Start by understanding that fear is not your enemy, it's your compass. The nervousness before a big presentation, the hesitation to ask for that promotion, the anxiety about putting your work out into the world, these aren't signs to retreat. They're signals pointing you toward exactly where you need to grow. The most confident people aren't those who never feel fear. They're the ones who've learned to act despite it. Breakthroughs happen at the edge of your comfort zone. If public speaking terrifies you, don't aim for a TED Talk. Start by speaking up more in meetings. If rejection stings, practice making small, low-stakes requests daily. Each time you survive what you feared, two powerful things happen. First, you collect evidence that you're more capable than you thought. Second, your tolerance for discomfort increases. This is how courage becomes a habit. The key is systematic exposure, not reckless plunging. Map out your fears from least to most intimidating. Tackle them progressively, celebrating each small victory. Notice how the anticipation is almost always worse than the reality. With each challenge faced, your confidence doesn't just grow, it becomes more resilient because it's no longer based on avoiding difficulty, but on knowing you can handle it. Remember, confidence isn't about eliminating fear, it's about changing your relationship with it. When you stop waiting for fear to disappear before taking action, you unlock unstoppable momentum. The warrior isn't the one without fear, but the one who moves forward with fear as their companion. This is how ordinary people develop extraordinary confidence, not through special talents, but through the daily practice of choosing courage over comfort. Speak the truth, always. Confidence cannot flourish in an environment of deception, whether that deception is directed toward others or yourself. Every time you twist the truth to please someone, hide your real opinions to avoid conflict, or exaggerate to appear more impressive, you undermine your own self-respect. Authenticity is the bedrock of unshakable confidence because it aligns your actions with your values. When your words match your beliefs, you stop second-guessing yourself and develop an inner steadiness that no external judgment can shake. This doesn't mean brutal honesty. There's no virtue in cruelty. It means thoughtful, principled truth-telling. If you disagree in a meeting, voice your perspective respectfully rather than nodding along. If you make a mistake, admit it instead of covering it up. When you're unsure, say, "I don't know," rather than pretending. Each time you do this, you strengthen your integrity, and integrity is the foundation of real confidence. People may not always like what you say, but they'll respect you for saying it, and more importantly, you'll respect yourself. The more you practice this, the less you depend on others' approval. You stop molding yourself to fit every situation and start standing firm in your convictions. This creates a powerful positive feedback loop. The more truthful you are, the more self-trust you build, and the more self-trust you have, the easier it becomes to speak your truth. Over time, you develop the kind of confidence that doesn't waver based on who's in the room. because it comes from within. The alternative, a life of half-truths and people-pleasing, is exhausting. It forces you to constantly monitor what you say, remember which version of the truth you told to whom, and shrink yourself to avoid disapproval. That's no way to live, and it's certainly no way to build confidence. The path to true self-assurance is simple, though not easy. Say what you mean what you say, and let the chips fall where they may. When you do that consistently, you'll find that confidence isn't something you have to chase, it's something you embody. Compare yourself to who you were yesterday. The surest way to suffocate your confidence is to measure your worth against other people's achievements. In today's hyper-connected world, we're bombarded with curated glimpses of others' successes, promotions, perfect relationships, financial wins, while we're intimately familiar with our own struggles and shortcomings. This creates a psychological trap where no matter how much you accomplish, someone else's highlight reel can make you feel inadequate. True unstoppable confidence comes from a different metric, tracking your own progress. This isn't about complacency, it's about clarity. When you focus on being slightly better today than you were yesterday, you create a sustainable path to self-assurance. Maybe you read 10 more pages than last week, held your ground in a difficult conversation where you'd normally retreat, or finally started that project you've been avoiding. These incremental wins compound into unshakable self-belief because they're rooted in reality. Your reality. You're not chasing arbitrary external benchmarks, you're honoring your personal evolution. The practice is simple but transformative. Regularly reflect on where you've grown. Keep a journal of small victories, skills learned, fears faced, bad habits reduced. When self-doubt creeps in, review this evidence of your progress. You'll realize that while you may not be where you want to be, you're no longer where you were. This mindset shift does 3 powerful things. 1, it makes confidence accessible because you control the comparison. 2, it fosters gratitude for your journey. And 3, it keeps you focused on variables within your control. This approach also builds resilience against setbacks. When you stumble, as everyone does, you won't collapse into I'm a failure thinking, because your benchmark isn't perfection, it's progress. Maybe today's workout was weaker than yesterday's, but it's stronger than last month's. Perhaps you lost your temper, but you recovered faster than you would have a year ago. By measuring against your past self, every honest effort becomes meaningful. Ultimately, unstoppable confidence comes from this quiet certainty. I am improving. Not I'm the best, not I've arrived, but I'm moving forward. When that becomes your compass, no external opinion can derail you, because your validation comes from the one person whose judgment truly matters, the person you're becoming. Conclusion, the unshakable foundation of true confidence. Confidence isn't a magical trait reserved for the chosen few. It's the natural result of deliberate action, self-honesty, and daily courage. It grows when you stand tall in your truth, embrace discipline over fleeting motivation, face your fears with determination, and measure progress against your own potential rather than others' achievements. This isn't about becoming fearless or perfect. It's about trusting yourself enough to move forward despite fear, imperfection, and uncertainty. Every small act of courage, every moment of integrity, and every disciplined choice deposits strength into your psychological resilience. Over time, these deposits compound into unshakable confidence, not the loud, boastful kind, but the quiet, unwavering kind that knows I can handle what comes. The journey begins with a simple decision. Stop waiting for confidence to find you. Build it, one choice at a time. Stand taller today than yesterday. Speak one more honest sentence. Face one small fear. Compare yourself only to who you were before. Confidence isn't given, it's earned. And once earned, it becomes unstoppable. Now go forth, not as someone hoping to feel confident, but as someone who acts confidently. The world responds to those who trust themselves. Will you?